Your boss is lying about AI. Companies are lying to you about AI and the massive layoffs being broadcast on the news seemingly every night. They're telling you that artificial intelligence is making roles redundant and that layoffs are just an inevitable part of progress. They're using buzzwords like AI transformation and workforce optimization. But for a shocking number of companies, that's just a convenient story. They are firing people based on the hope of what AI might do tomorrow, not the reality of what it's doing today. So let's break down the evidence that proves it, go over the warning signs that your job might be on the line, and lay out a plan to get ahead of the chopping block. I'm Scott Lindsay, and I've spent my entire career in the trenches of risk, operations, and technology decisions. I've been Chief Risk Officer, Chief Compliance Officer, Director of Internal Audit, even CFO of a publicly traded bank. I've worked with global financial institutions, guiding executive teams through regulatory nightmares and operational overhauls that would make your head spin. But I'm also an entrepreneur. I founded and grew an internet solutions company from nothing to serving over 85 financial institutions, hundreds of thousands of customers, and government agencies across multiple jurisdictions. So I've been on both sides of this. I know what it's like to make a tech bet when it's your own money on the line. And that's exactly what we need to talk about today on small business risk, because there's this dangerous narrative out there. So let's unpack this together. Section 1, The Lie Unpacked, Firing on Hype, Not Reality. Let's be honest, the narrative you're being sold in corporate town halls is a PR masterpiece. We see giants like Amazon, Salesforce, and Accenture cutting thousands of jobs, and they almost always link it to a strategic pivot toward AI. It sounds innovative, it sounds futuristic, and to Wall Street it sounds profitable. Every time a company credits AI for layoffs, their stock price seems to get a nice little bump. But here's the part they don't put in the memo. This is the heart of the lie. A stunning number of these layoffs are based on anticipation, not actual performance. Research highlighted in the Harvard Business Review found that a majority of companies are cutting staff because of AI's potential, not its current, real-world abilities. Executives are making a bet, trimming headcount now and just hoping the technology eventually catches up to fill the gaps. They'd rather white-knuckle it with fewer people than risk being overstaffed. This isn't just a theory. The data is pretty damning. One survey of over 1,000 executives revealed that 60% of their companies had already made headcount reductions in anticipation of AI. People are losing their jobs not because a machine is doing their work better, but because their CEO hopes a machine might be able to do it someday. This is made even more absurd by a stunning statistic from an MIT study. A staggering 95% of companies that invested billions in Gen AI initiatives saw exactly zero measurable return on that investment. They are burning cash on tech that isn't delivering, which creates immense pressure to cut costs somewhere else. And the easiest lever to pull is always payroll. This brings us to the great AI productivity paradox. On one hand, a Morgan Stanley survey found that in certain sectors, companies reported an 11.5% increase in productivity from AI, but that same survey showed a 4% net decline in headcount. Even when the productivity gains are real, they're being used to justify having fewer people, not to empower the existing team. On a grander scale, those productivity gains are still largely a mirage. According to Apollo's chief economist, despite years of hype, AI has yet to show up in the broad macroeconomic data. The Congressional Budget Office estimates AI will only add a small fraction of a percentage point to productivity growth each year. In fact, one recent Workday study found that while AI users do save time, around 37% of those savings are immediately lost because they have to go back and fix the AI's mistakes. So what's really going on? AI has become the ultimate corporate scapegoat. It's a clean, forward-thinking excuse for old-fashioned, unpopular decisions. Instead of admitting to overhiring, offshoring jobs, or just making cuts to boost profits, executives can point to a robot and say, "It wasn't us, it was innovation." It's a practice called AI washing, and it's everywhere. So let us take a brief pause here. If you're finding this useful, do me a favor. Hit that like button and drop a comment below. Hit me up with questions or comments with your thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts. I will read every single one of them, and honestly, this will help me figure out what we need to cover next. Section 2, the warning signs. Is your job next? So, how can you tell if your role is being sized up for an AI replacement? The signs are often subtle, but they're there if you know what to look for. These are the red flags you need to take seriously. Warning sign number 1, your job is highly automatable. This is the most obvious one. If your work is repetitive and follows clear rules, you're at risk. The research is clear here. Roles in admin support, data entry, and customer service are at the top of the list. A McKinsey report noted that women are more likely to be affected as they are concentrated in many of these clerical and support roles. Another analysis from the Brookings Institution found that among workers who are both at high risk of displacement and least equipped to find a new job, 86% are women. If you could write a step-by-step manual for your daily tasks, you need to realize that manual is basically the blueprint for your AI replacement. Warning sign number 2, the sudden obsession with process documentation. This flows right from the last point. You hear your boss say, "We need to document all our workflows for efficiency." But what it might really mean is, we're building the playbook for the AI that's going to take your job. If managers who never cared about process docs before are suddenly demanding hyper-detailed maps of everything you do, every click, every shortcut, that is a massive red flag. Warning sign number 3, the helpful new software pilot. The email says, "We're testing a new tool to make your job easier." But what might be happening is that they're testing your replacement. This productivity software is often a trial run to see how much of your job can be automated. They're watching every click and every interaction. They might even ask you to train the tool by correcting its mistakes. You're not just using the software. You could be actively teaching your successor before you're shown the door. Warning sign number 4, the freeze on entry-level hiring. Pay close attention to your company's hiring patterns. Research shows that as companies adopt generative AI, they tend to reduce hiring for entry-level positions. These are the jobs with the most automatable tasks. If you notice junior roles in your department aren't being backfilled when people leave, it's a sign the company is trying to automate from the ground up, hollowing out the career ladder for everyone. If you're finding this useful and maybe a little terrifying, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. My goal isn't to spread fear, it's to give you the awareness and the tools you need to take back control of your career in this wild new landscape. Section 3, the pivot, how to get ahead of the chopping block. Okay, so the signs are there. You're feeling the pressure. Panicking isn't a strategy, action is. You need to shift your mindset from being a potential victim of AI to being the person who leverages it. Here's the game plan. Strategy 1, become the AI conductor, not the instrument. You are not going to win a race against a machine. So don't try. Your goal is to be the one directing the machine. While some jobs are disappearing, new ones are emerging. Think AI system supervisors and automation engineers. Your value is no longer just in doing the task, but in understanding the bigger picture. It's about strategy, quality control, and knowing your field so well you can immediately spot when the AI is confidently wrong. You need to move from being a player on the field to being the coach on the sidelines. Strategy 2, chase the skills premium. The market is sending a clear signal. A 2024 analysis of millions of job postings by PwC showed that having AI-related skills can earn you up to a 25% average wage premium. So, pull up LinkedIn right now. Look at the job descriptions for the role above yours. What specific AI tools and skills are they asking for? Is it prompt engineering, experience with a certain data platform? Learn those things. That's your roadmap to not just surviving, but thriving. Strategy 3, double down on uniquely human skills. For all the things AI can do, there's a long list of what it can't. It can't show genuine leadership. It can't build trust with a client over coffee. It can't exercise nuanced judgment in a crisis or navigate tricky office politics. It can't truly innovate or think critically beyond the data it was trained on. These used to be called soft skills. Now they're the power skills that are the hardest to replace. Focus on being the best collaborator, the clearest communicator, and the most reliable problem solver on your team. That's your competitive advantage. Strategy 4. Document your own AI-driven productivity. Don't let your company be the only one telling the story about AI. You need to write your own. Start using AI tools proactively to make yourself better and faster. And then, this is the crucial part, document it. Keep a running list of how you used AI to save 5 hours on a project, or how it helped you find 10 new sales leads. Quantify your value. When review time comes, you can present this data and frame the conversation not as AI is making my role obsolete, but as AI is making me an even more valuable asset. You're proving that AI is a tool that you use to bring the company more value. The conclusion. So let's be real. The idea that millions of people are being laid off just because some brilliant new AI is ready to step in is, in most cases, a lie. It's a futuristic-sounding excuse that hides a much messier reality of cost-cutting, bad planning, and firing people based on pure hype. The real threat isn't just an algorithm in the cloud, it's the corporate strategy on the ground. It's executives making bets on unproven tech and using your job as the collateral. But understanding this lie is the first step to beating it. It moves you from a place of fear to a place of agency. Now you can see the warning signs. You can make a conscious pivot. You can choose to become the AI conductor, chase the skills that matter, double down on your humanity, and prove your own damn value. The world of work is changing, no doubt, but it's not some giant tidal wave that's going to wash us all away. It's a current, and if you learn how to read it, you can navigate it. The time to start navigating is now. Thanks for watching. For more deep dives on how to protect and grow your career in the age of AI, make sure you're subscribed and do me a favor, hit that like button and drop a comment below. I'll see you in the next one.